Welcome to our channel. Let's begin the journey.
Hey everyone, I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We're going to become cosmic detectives, piecing together one of the most astonishing mysteries in the entire history of science. We're talking about a profound puzzle that completely shattered our understanding of the universe, and we're going to solve it together, step by step.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What is holding the universe together? I mean, it seems like a simple enough question, right? We look up, we see planets orbiting stars, stars clustering into galaxies, and we naturally just assume that gravity, born from all that heavy, glowing stuff we can clearly see, is doing all the heavy lifting. But what if our eyes, and even our absolute most powerful telescopes, have actually been deceiving us from the very beginning?
Because as it turns out, the magnificent universe we actively observe is actually just the tiny tip of a giant unseen iceberg. I really want you to think about that for a second. Every twinkling star, every radiant, sprawling galaxy you have ever seen in the night sky, all of that is just a fraction of reality. It's an incredibly small slice of what's actually out there. So how did we uncover this terrifying and awe-inspiring cosmic truth? Well, it all started at a very specific crime scene in the cosmos.
Part 1. The Coma Cluster Paradox. So our story takes us back to the 1930s. Astronomers were turning their powerful telescopes toward a specific region of space known as the Coma Cluster. Now, this isn't just some small neighborhood of stars. This cluster is made up of literally thousands of individual, massive galaxies.
When scientists observed the Coma Cluster, they saw this massive and chaotic gathering of galaxies gracefully dancing around each other, intimately bound by gravity. Imagine thousands of colossal cosmic entities swirling and interacting perfectly in the immense darkness of space. It looked like a beautifully balanced, harmonious system governed by the established laws of physics. But you know, when they actually started crunching the numbers, well, everything just fell apart.
They ran headfirst into an absolute paradox. On one hand, you have the calculated gravity based purely on the visible light emitted by these galaxies. On the other hand, you have the actual physical speed at which these galaxies are moving. And this brilliantly illustrates a deeply absurd reality. The individual galaxies within the Coma Cluster were moving way too fast.
Think about the sheer impossibility of this situation. With only the amount of visible matter present in that cluster, the resulting gravity wouldn't be even remotely enough to hold the system together. Logically, by every known law of physics, the expected reality was that these incredibly fast-moving galaxies should have been violently flung out into the endless void of space a long time ago. Yet, the observed reality was entirely different. They remained closely bound together, gracefully dancing. The universe was hiding something massive, and it was going to take a very specific kind of mind to figure it out.
Part 2. The Eccentric Detective.
Enter Fritz Zwicky. He was an undeniably brilliant astrophysicist operating in the 1930s, but he was also widely known among his peers for his highly abrasive and eccentric personality. He wasn't your quiet, conventional scientist type. He was intense, he was difficult, and he really didn't care about stepping on toes. And honestly, that abrasive nature made him exactly the right kind of rebel to face down an impossible cosmic paradox without even flinching.
Let's look at his methodology. Step 1. Zwicky points his powerful telescope out toward the Coma Cluster. Step 2. He meticulously calculates the total mass based solely on the light they actively emitted. He measured all the visible stuff. But then, Step 3. He confronted that deeply absurd reality. He mathematically proved that the visible mass simply did not equal the gravity required to keep the cluster intact. And instead of throwing out the math, Zwicky did something incredible. He trusted the numbers and he completely threw out his assumptions about the universe.
Part 3. The invisible gravitational glue. So, the crucial point is this. The only plausible explanation Zwicky could offer was completely radical. He proposed the existence of dark matter. He theorized that there simply had to be a colossal amount of invisible matter present in the cluster. This matter was completely unseen, neither emitting nor absorbing light, yet it possessed an overwhelming dominant mass.
Zwicky concluded that this unseen substance was silently acting as a vital gravitational glue holding the entire massive system together, and it perfectly solved the math. Sure, the galaxies were moving way too fast for the glowing stars to hold them, but if the cluster was secretly flooded with this massive, invisible dark matter, the extra gravity would be exactly enough to prevent those fast-moving galaxies from flying off into the endless void. It was an elegant, mathematically perfect solution. But, as we know, being right doesn't always mean being believed.
Part 4.
ridiculed to modern reality.
There's a pretty tragic irony to this whole story. In the 1930s, Zwicky makes this historic observation of the Coma Cluster. But in the decades following, his radical idea was largely ignored and even harshly ridiculed by the scientific community. They basically laughed him right out of the room. It wasn't until much later, deep into the modern era, as human technology and observational methods advanced, that scientists realized Zwicky was entirely correct all along. Today, he is universally acknowledged as the absolute visionary of cosmology. He endured decades of mockery for a discovery that now serves as a foundational pillar of modern physics.
Zwicky violently threw open the door into the profound darkness of modern cosmology. He forced humanity to grow up. He forced us to admit a startling, almost uncomfortable fact about our universe, that everything we know, everything we can clearly see and touch, is vastly outweighed by a silent, invisible presence that is shaping the destiny of the galaxies.
Which leaves us with this final, thrilling thought. If the vast majority of reality around us is actively made of things we absolutely cannot see, what else is hiding in the dark? Fritz Zwicky taught us that the universe doesn't have to be visible to be incredibly real. It's a mystery that continues to drive astrophysics today, proving that sometimes, to understand the cosmos, we actually have to look past the light and learn to measure the shadows. Thank you so much. I really hope this sparked your curiosity, and I can't wait to explore more of the unknown with you next time.
The view from here is breathtaking. Command, we are in position and ready for the next phase. If you liked the video, subscribe and comment the topic you want next. Thanks for watching, and stay unstoppable.